this morning. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna kind of back up a little bit from what I talked about yesterday. Okay, just so you guys know, I had some questions about how I knew I had adrenal fatigue. So I wanted to just kind of touch on that a little bit today. Guys, I went over a lot more of this in my Facebook group. The link is in whatever description of the video that you're watching. So grab that and get on over there. And it'll have some more detail over there. And you can also ask me some questions if you want to know a little more detail. I'm happy to answer over there. Okay. All right. So the title is 3 Warning Signs You Might Have Adrenal Fatigue. Now, I say might because they run so closely together with other things that sometimes it's hard to know if you have the other things or if you have adrenal fatigue. Okay. I am no doctor. I cannot tell you whether you have adrenal fatigue. I can tell you that if you have these 3 symptoms, it might be something you want to get checked out. Okay. Now, with that said, I did not know that I had adrenal fatigue for sure until about a year ago. 2020 is when I realized I had adrenal fatigue. Long story short, the masks were making me feel bad. I thought I had something else going on. I went to an integrative doctor. They looked at my hormones, realized my cortisol levels are way high. That is why they know that I for sure have adrenal fatigue. Okay. However, after I started researching it, I realized I've had adrenal fatigue for a long time. Okay. So that's why I want to slap the easy button on it for you guys. And maybe, I had to go through my thyroid being hypothyroidism. I've had to go through all of that. And I think I've had adrenal fatigue way before my thyroid was even diagnosed. So even though before my thyroid went south. Okay. Because I had all of these symptoms, but they kept telling me, your thyroid's fine, your thyroid's fine, your thyroid's not fine. So one of the first warning sign is morning fatigue. Okay. Now I have sleep apnea too. So I have thyroid and sleep apnea and adrenal fatigue. Okay. Which I think I had sleep apnea before I had thyroid, and I think I had adrenal fatigue before I had thyroid, but I think they all played part into making my thyroid go south. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Morning fatigue, like I didn't get up and feel refreshed. I didn't get full steam ahead until about 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay. And even now when my adrenal fatigue flares up, when I know that I haven't been taking good care of myself and it flares up, I really don't feel like I have my go juice until 9 o'clock. Okay. Coffee, none of that does any of it. Okay. The other thing I realized is, and I realize this after the fact, is muscle weakness. Okay. Muscle weakness is another thing that you can have with adrenal fatigue, but I didn't know that. Okay. I noticed after having both of my kids that I just felt weaker, but I played it off in my head as into, oh, well, I've had kids, I'm out of shape, blah, blah, blah. I'm not working out like I should. The other thing that went in with muscle weakness was I didn't get the runner's high that they talk about. So when I started doing P90X and I started doing a lot of this, very good workout that everybody talked about, but when I did it, I didn't get the runner's high that everybody else got. I literally wanted to go home and take a nap. Like I wanted to go lay on the couch, okay, and take a nap. Like I would get up, I would go force myself to go work out, and then I would lay down in the chair if I had nothing else going on, and I would be asleep within a half hour, within 10 minutes, and I would be asleep for an hour. Okay. So I didn't get that runner's high or that workout high that a lot of people get when they work out. Okay. So, and then brain fog. oh my goodness, brain fog is another thing that I can say I've had for even before my thyroid. Everybody's like, oh, it's your thyroid, da 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 da. So I go have my thyroid checked. The doctor would be like, it's not your thyroid, da 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 da. And it was I'm pretty sure it was adrenal fatigue at that point. Now looking back at everything, I'm pretty sure it was adrenal fatigue. So these are some symptoms. Now, guys, I'm just telling you these is because these are 3 things that I know that I felt prior to having my thyroid done. One other side note is I felt like I constantly was carrying a lot of inflammation. Okay. In my legs, in my feet, in my ankles. And again, I didn't know any different because when you have kids, your ankles and your legs and your feet get puffy, like it's just a thing, but it never really went away for me. Okay. It never really went away for me until later on when I cleaned up my diet and I did all of that. Then it went away. Okay. So I carried around probably another 10. I want to say I carried around about 7 to 10 pounds worth of just fluid in my body. Okay. But once I started eating right and eating for my body, then that all went away. So guys, my point to all of this is if you think, or if you have any or all of these symptoms, it's probably worth your time to go to an integrative doctor, get your hormones checked, find out if you do have high cortisol, and then work on their protocol in cleaning it up. Okay. If you feel that you do and you don't want to spend the money, okay, the tips I gave yesterday are good tips to start that process and to or get with somebody who has done it and see if some of those things can work for you. Okay? Nothing I do is going to hurt my body. Okay? It's eating natural foods, it's eating high fat, moderate protein, low carb. Okay? If you would just decide to do that and you feel much better, then, the other thing is eating an hour, not more than an hour after you got up. Okay. And then have regular meals throughout the day. They don't have to be big. They don't have to be, but check out my video from yesterday if you have any questions on that. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to jump out of here. I will see you guys all